Welcome, boys. Today, we are escaping the fate of the NPC. And we're also looking to live a life of total freedom, which frankly, all of us want. But firstly, what is the NPC life path? Because in order to avoid something, it would actually be very smart of us to understand what it is, right? I think a lot of you probably already know what the NPC life path is. It's simply just, going to school, get your higher education, get your job, climb the corporate ladder, get fucked by inflation and fiat currencies, constantly drown in financial pressure your entire life, and die. Yippee! That sounds so fun. Yeah, no thank you. This is the fate of most people in the world because they're not smart enough, they're not mentally tactful enough to actually observe what's going on around them. Which brings me on to my next point. 99% of your friends will be NPCs. This is a brutal black pill for a lot of people. They're like, no, but Sam, I can save them. I can save them, Sam. I can really convince them that my way is better. The thing is, that's probably not the case. You're really up against it. We've all been conditioned our entire lives to believe a certain pathway is actually fruitful for us. Yes, Sam, if you go to school and get a higher education, you can get a high-paying job. And the entire process of going to school is to literally turn you into a very good boy, right? So when you say to, most people, hey man, maybe that's not what's best for us after all, you're going to run into a level of resistance which you've not met yet, okay? And frankly, most of the time, it's not actually worth trying to convince people your way's better, because all it's going to do is create friction in your relationships and your life. It is what it is, okay? The best thing that you can do to actually convince people that your way is better is simply just by walking your own pathway and showing them how fruitful it is, okay? And that goes for anything. If you want to convince someone that going to the gym is good, just start going to the gym and showing your results. And if they're really about it and they want that change, then they'll reach out to you and say, hey man, I like what you're doing. Let's do it together, man. And that's awesome. That's really good. But just be aware, 99% of people, they're not going to be about it, bro. Okay, they're not. And in fact, you might find that they actually try to drag you back down. So the crabs in a bucket analogy, when you have a bunch of crabs in the bottom of a bucket, if one of them starts climbing out, what they do is they actually grab each other and pull each other back down to try and pull themselves up. So ultimately, none of them can ever escape because they're constantly dragging each other down, okay? And that is maybe what you'll find with your current friend group. So be aware of that. It can be a little bit painful, but you have to be willing to walk away and do your own thing, okay? Life can be so much more. And the people you look up to, maybe they live a lifestyle which you envy and that you want to emulate. You want that level of freedom. You want all that money. You want that car. You want that watch. You want that girl. If you want those things, it requires sacrifice. And I've put F plus F here on the slide because it might require you to sacrifice friends, as we've just talked about, and family, because much like your friends, your family are almost certainly going to have maybe even more limiting beliefs over your choices than what your friends might have. And that's because, our family are very protective of us and they want what they think is best for us. And what they think is best for us is actually the NPC life path, which is not fucking true. That path is going to lead to a life of stagnation and death. If you want this life, you need to actually use your brain. You need to protect your mental clarity at all costs. You need to be willing to have an element of risk. And I say risk because you're risking basically starting your own business and it could fail and you could end up with no income. But the thing is, you can always just go and get a 9-to-5 job anyway. So there's not really any risk. This is a bit of a psyop that people will put onto you. Yeah, but Sam, starting your own business, it's risky. It's what's risky about it, man? The conventional work isn't going anywhere. The slave force always needs more members. There's not actually any risk at all in doing it apart from wasted time. But even then, it's not a waste of time because if you fail, you learn. It's absolutely worth taking the risk and you need to pave your own path, okay? Because like we say, the NPC path, it's the easy path to take. It really is. Oh yeah, I'll just go to school AFK, fucking go home, play my Xbox. Go to college AFK, play my Xbox, Oh, now I've got a job and now I'm paying my taxes and suddenly you're 40, you've got a wife who doesn't respect you. She's cheating on you. She's taking away the kids. Classic. And you've got fucking nothing to live for, man. You've got nothing to live for. So that's no life. At least for me, okay? If you're a masochist, fine. Maybe this channel isn't for you, but I enjoy freedom. We all enjoy freedom as men, so. And if you want freedom, the NPC life path ain't it? You have to forget everything you know. School is genuinely indoctrination into turning you into a good worker, not a good entrepreneur, not a good person, a good worker, okay? Be quiet, sit still, do the thing that you hate doing for 8 hours, go home. That's what school's for, literally. It sucks your soul out of you, and that is prepping you for your soul-sucking job that you're going to get afterwards, okay? Your parents aren't nefarious, but they just don't know any better. Maybe going to school and getting an education and getting a job and then buying a house was a viable solution for them, but the thing is that it's not a viable solution for us. Inflation is going crazy. They could have bought a house for $20,000, you know, when they were younger. We're looking at $200,000 now, okay? And it's going to keep going up. Inflation, as they continue to print money, is going to keep going crazy. And your fucking $15 an hour job isn't going to land you the life of freedom that you need, okay? And your teachers, much like your parents, they just don't really know any better, okay? You might have that one cool teacher who you really get along with, who's a G. That's awesome. He's genuinely passionate about teaching the youth. That's really dope, you know, and that's respectful. If you want to get a conventional job, which you're really passionate about, and that's your life purpose, God bless you, honestly. You do that. That's incredible. Being a doctor, fireman, police, whatever it may be, right? If you're genuinely passionate about a specific profession and going to get an education is necessary for that, Godspeed, honestly. But for most of us, we're sort of going through our youthful years with absolutely fucking no clue what to do. And it's those people, us, right, which are preyed upon. They don't know what to do. Oh, it's okay, just keep doing these things and we'll continue turning you into a good slave, and then oh boom, you're a fucking barista in Starbucks. Oh boom, you're in an office punching in numbers on a fucking spreadsheet, okay? So how do we get freedom, Sam? How the fuck do we do it? I don't understand. It's never been easier than right now. Did you know that? If you go back 100 years, the gap between being born into a poor family and a very wealthy one is like just enormous. Can you imagine that? I was born in a very poor family, but I've managed to create my lifestyle of freedom through the internet. Freedom is at your fingertips, guys. And 100 years ago, they didn't have that. You were just born poor. You didn't have, you know, endless education and options at your fingertips. You didn't have any means to, like, you know, make any sort of impact outside of your small circle. The internet is your pathway to freedom. You're holding it in your hands right now. You're on your phone or you're watching this on your computer, your laptop. That is your ticket to freedom. And the thing is, you might be thinking, Sam, but everyone's got internet. The competition's just gonna be ludicrous. Here's the thing, okay? Your competition are pussies. They are watching sidemen on YouTube. They're watching, I don't know, what do people watch nowadays? They're watching FIFA funny moments, okay? Just look at like any of your fucking normie friends, what they do in their spare time using the internet. They play their video games, you know, they're sat in their Discord calls. That's how they use the internet. Your competition are fucking retarded. They have no clue how to actually use the insane tool in front of them to completely transform their life. So don't worry too much about the competition. They're all fucking doom scrolling TikTok, dude, okay? And the reason why we have to use the internet, guys, is because more likely than not, your home country is completely fucking cucked, okay? Certainly if you're like me and you're from the UK, your country is going like this. It's on a ridiculous downwards decline. I can't even fathom how terrible the UK has become. Great Britain is no longer Great Britain, so you need to get the fuck out of Dodge and start making your money on the internet. I don't see good things for the UK in the next 10 to 20 years at all. In fact, I see hard times hitting the UK big time, okay? So you need to get the fuck out. You need to get your family out as well. You need to get your girlfriend out. You need to get everyone out. That's your responsibility as a man. And the way you do it is using this fucking, what you're holding right now or what you're looking at. That's how you do it, dude. So here's a trap that a lot of people fall into, okay? They look at their favorite influencers and they're like, okay, I'm just gonna copy what they're doing, okay? The problem is, you shouldn't copy what they're doing now. You should copy what they did at the beginning. The reason why is because the more influence and cash that you obtain, the more your world opens up. If we look at Iman Gadzhi, for example, while now he's got his fingers in many different pots of gold and he talks about a lot of different topics on his YouTube channel, initially he just maxed out social media marketing agencies, okay? He just completely fucking one-tricked that shit, become an absolute professional and made all of his initial wealth from just that. Then if you look at someone like Luke Belmar, he maxed out e-commerce. And then in terms of personal branding, you can look at people like Hamza, and initially he just maxed out on mental health. He chose the one pain point of mental health and just honed in on it. And he did so well solving that pain point for so many people that now his world has opened up and he can actually talk about other things and people actually give a shit about his opinion on them, which is a trap a lot of people fall into on YouTube. They talk about a bunch of different shit and it's like, who gives a fuck? You've not actually gave me any value. You've not solved a specific pain point for me. Why do I give a fuck about your opinion on dating? And then just one more example, a very famous example is, you know, the funny bald man. He's completely maxed out on masculinity. And now when he talks about other things, people are so invested in him already because he's already proven how valuable he is that people care about his opinions on other things as well. Just one more example. I don't have a slide of this, but it's a good example, and that's Andrew Huberman. He's completely and utterly maxed out on science-based health knowledge. And I was watching a podcast with him on Chris Williamson, and they quickly talked about dating, and that's when it clicked. And that's when it clicked for me. I only care about Andrew Huberman's opinion on dating because he's already provided me so much value, so I actually want to learn a bit more about him and how he sees the world. If he hadn't already provided me with so much value in terms of health, I wouldn't have given a fuck about his opinion on dating. So what do all these people have in common, guys? They maxed out one skill, very important. They gathered fucking stories. They live an exciting life. They documented it all, and they did not take the NPC life path. Apart from Andrew Huberman, but Huberman is a good example of being very passionate about something and needing a higher education for it. But then he didn't go for a conventional job. He actually used that knowledge he has to create a personal brand, which is very smart. How interesting is that though? They all have those things in common. And like I say, a lot of people, I try to skip ahead. They look at what these guys are doing now and they're like, I'm just going to do what they're doing now. But you've got to look at what they did at the beginning. Do you honestly think people would give a fuck about what the funny bald man had to say about masculinity if he didn't already have an absolute enormous backlog of content and documentary style pieces to prove how much of a G he is? Professional world-class kickboxer. Hundreds and hundreds of videos of him and his brother traveling the world, being goofballs, spending a bunch of money. Loads of content with girls, parties, etc. A bunch of cars. These are all things the funny bald man had before he blew up. He documented his entire life. And if he hadn't done that, he would have been far less effective in terms of talking about masculinity. So, here's what you do, okay? I'm gonna simplify it. If you haven't already understood, you need to max out a skill. One skill, not fucking 10, one. You need to gather a bunch of fucking stories, okay? This is one of the main reasons why I travel and I'm in an exciting place. And I'm around exciting and successful people. And I also document it all on my YouTube, on my Instagram, and you need to avoid the NPC life path, which funnily enough, I did on accident. I got so crippled with depression and anxiety during my first year of college that I actually had a mental breakdown and dropped out. And for 3 years, I lay dormant in my room because I could not leave my house without having a panic attack. And I believe this is actually a blessing from God, because what that allowed me to do was for those 3 years, uncondition myself for the shit that I was taught in school, and it allowed me time to rewire my brain. Even though I was so fucking miserable, it actually allowed me to shatter a bunch of beliefs that had been instilled in me from the indoctrination of schools. If I didn't have that mental breakdown, I would have 100% been cannon fodder and another victim of the system. I would have been in some office somewhere, punching in numbers with a fucking 4 out of 10 girl who doesn't respect me, who cheats on me for a bump of cocaine. I go out every weekend with the lads, have a pint, you know, do a bunch of fucking ketamine. That would have been me if I didn't have those mental breakdowns. So, thank you, Lord. Thank you. God had different plans for me, and you know, he needed me to suffer for a little bit before I got there, but I'm so grateful. And now I get to spread this message to you, okay? You don't have to suffer as much as I did to learn this lesson. So please take this video seriously, really. I suffered so much to get this information, bro. Gathering stories requires you to make Wi-Fi money, which is why I'm saying your ticket to freedom is at your fingertips, guys. The absolute easiest way to gather stories is to get the fuck out of your hometown, because the only stories you can gather in your hometown is getting fucked up and doing something stupid on drugs or booze, right? Oh yeah, and then he fucking inhaled that fucking laughing gas balloon and then he fucking fell over and it was really funny. Oh. Yeah, really good story, bro. If you remove drugs and booze from your life, how many stories do you have? That's the question you gotta ask. If you want to gather more stories, you need to do more exciting shit. You need to travel the world, you need to meet new people, new environments. And I'm not saying you need to fucking be a backpacker because backpackers smell of shit. I'm just saying you need to change your environment and enter an environment which is more inspiring. Right now I'm looking out my window, I'm seeing palm trees and a fucking hill, jungle over there. I could just go out right now and just go through the jungle if I wanted to. That's a story, you know, get bitten by a fucking king cobra. That's a story. That'd be good for the personal brand. Dying via king cobra venom. Brilliant. You know what I mean though? Like, I have options. I can just hop on my bike right now and just go on an adventure. And all this stuff's really fucking good for your personal brand. You need stories for your personal brand. Again, if Funny Bald Man didn't have a bunch of stories to tell and documented it all throughout the years upon years, as like, you know, 15 years of Funny Bald Man content that he was putting out before he got famous. Can you fucking fathom that? He was putting out content for 15 years before his personal brand got successful. You need to start right now. You need to start documenting your life. Now, in my opinion, if there's any skill to max out, to live this lifestyle of freedom that you desire, there's no better skill than video editing. With the rise of content creation from both influencers and now businesses, because big businesses are catching on, old school advertising methods is dying. No one watches fucking TV anymore. These big corporations are catching on to the new trend, which is internet content creation. Every single one of these influencers and businesses need a video editor. So if you're not already an influencer, I can't think of a better gateway into that lifestyle than actually becoming a video editor, which is exactly what I did. Being the curator of someone's image online allows you to gain very quick and easy access to very high value men, because we all want to project a certain image of ourselves online, and if you are the guy who is projecting that image and you do a good job of it, it's a very easy way to gain the respect and admiration of very high value people and businesses. And not only that, it's perfect for the laptop lifestyle. You can fucking edit your videos anywhere in the world on your laptop. You can work with your favorite fucking YouTubers, influencers, and it's the absolute fucking perfect launchpad for your own personal brand. If you're working closely with someone who runs a successful personal brand themselves, you're learning how to do it effectively. The average of 5 rule. If you're hanging around a bunch of successful influencers, you're going to become the 6th successful influencer. And not only that, you already know how to fucking edit your videos. So you can just go straight away. I can't think of it. There's not a better launchpad for your own personal brand. So while you're gathering your stories and your life experience, there is not a better role that you can play in that than video editing. You get access to the people that you need to get access to. You get the money with the laptop lifestyle, and you get the perfect launchpad to building your own personal brand in the future. It is fucking incredible. And if you want to learn how to effectively curate that lifestyle, my Video Editing Academy of Excellence is the absolute best place on the internet for it. I don't just teach you how to be a fucking preset editor, or I don't just teach you the very basics of Premiere. I teach you how to make that lifestyle a reality. It's very different. I have over 400 students inside, and 12 of them have already come here to my island in Koh Samui to greet me. And that's not counting the hundreds of them who are making money online right now, upwards of $10,000. Some of them as young as 14 years old, by the way. So there really is no excuse. You could be making double your parents' fucking wage within just like 3 months, I'd say. Within 3 months of being inside of my academy in video editing, you can probably be making double what your parents make, which is pretty insane. You'll get access to endless resources, which will save you an absolute fuck ton of time and money. You'll gain total creative freedom over every project that you touch. So for example, if you want to make a sick Instagram reel for your own personal brand, you'll know exactly how to do it through the skills that you learn inside of the academy. I've got a module in there for the best time-saving plugins, which saves me a fucking stupid amount of time editing. We hold weekly live events, Q&As, and we also do streams of me watching your edits live and giving you constructive feedback in real time. And I find this gets the biggest improvements out of my students in terms of their editing. You get access to a clients and jobs section where daily paid job opportunities are posted. So within no no time of joining my academy, you'll earn your admission fee back in no time anyway, as long as you're active within the network. And you'll learn how to become irreplaceable. You'll learn how to speak with your clients. You'll learn how to negotiate with your clients to triple your pay for the same amount of work. And I can't stress this enough, the network that comes with my Academy of Excellence is the most active and based video editing network the internet has to offer. Every single day, absolute value bombs are dropped in there. It's the best place to be. It's an absolute no-brainer of an offer. And just to make it even more appealing to you, I'm actually running a New Year's offer right now. So if you click the first link in the description and check out using the code FREEDOM, all capitals, FREEDOM, you'll gain access to my academy for the lowest price anyone has ever joined for the next 48 hours. And if video editing isn't for you, maybe money isn't either. Frankly, if you've watched this video this far and you agree with everything I've said, yeah, Sam, you know what, you are right, I should max out one skill instead of trying to do too much, but you don't have a plan, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you even writing off video editing in the first place? You've entered this new year with so much energy to improve and like, 2024 is gonna be my year, bro. But here I am offering you a clear pathway towards the lifestyle of freedom that you desire, and you're like, I don't know if video editing's for me. Okay, maybe money isn't for you either, bro. Unless you have already a clear plan as to what you're doing, you should definitely consider video editing. And if you do consider video editing, I cannot stress this enough, the Academy of Excellence is an absolute no-brainer of an offer. My friends in Dubai laugh at me for how cheap I sell this fucking service, okay? I could charge up to $1,000 for it, but I continue to charge this much because I genuinely want to help as many of you as possible, while also earning a fair pay for the work that I put into it, because I'm continually evolving this as well. In the next few days, I'm actually adding a brand new negotiation section, which is going to just autistically go into every single negotiation scenario that you could find yourself in and tell you the correct way to navigate it. I'm doing that actively as we speak, so I'm constantly working on it. It's my one premium service. It's an absolute no-brainer to join, okay? Use code FREEDOM at checkout, and I hope this video is helpful. And if you have a different plan towards your lifestyle of freedom, awesome. As long as you have a plan, I don't care. Just max out one skill, and if you don't yet know what the skill is, you should really consider video editing, because like I say, it's the absolute best way to infiltrate networks and to launch your own personal brand. Take care, boys. Oosh.